It's Darnell from Wave Oven Recipes, and today I'm going to rotisserie a whole turkey breast on the Cosori Smart Air Fryer Toaster Oven. And we're going to see how it does with a whole turkey breast right now. Alright, so here's my turkey breast. It is a 3.76 pound whole turkey breast, so it's a small whole turkey breast. We're going to see if this fits and we can rotisserie it in the Cosori. I'm going to get it out of this bag, then we'll get it onto the rotisserie rod here, and then we'll, just make sure that it can fit, and then we'll start seasoning it up. Alright, so here's the turkey breast out of the bag. I let it thaw for a couple of days in the fridge to let it thaw out, but now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to truss it tight so that I can make sure that no meat tries to hang or dangle during the rotisserie process. Alright, now I've got the turkey breast trussed, so I'm going to try and get the rotisserie rod on it. Now that I've got the rod in there, I'm going to put the forks in. The fork, it's just 2 prongs, it's not 3, so you don't really have the ease of having, several prongs in. You just don't get a fork with kind of 2 prongs on it. So I'm going to put that on in. Alright, so I've got the turkey breast on the rotisserie rod and forks. I've got a pan on the lowest rack level, and to get the turkey prepared, I'm going to use a little canola oil to help my spices stick. For my spices, I'm going to be using good old Bay seasoning, some hickory smoked sea salt, and some black pepper. And nothing in this video is sponsored, just some things that I like to use. And so going to go ahead and just lightly get some oil on the outside of my turkey breast, and just kind of flip it over here to try and get some on the other side also, just to get both sides kind of coated kind of nice with this canola oil. Whoa, poured out a bit more than I really want it to, but that's okay. I mean, the pan will catch it and kind of help some get on the other side, so no worries there. Just kind of helps get both sides nicely coated, so that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and get this side covered up with some spices, and Old Bay is great for, you name it. Old Bay is great for everything. The only thing that probably doesn't need Old Bay is bacon, because bacon tastes great by itself. But pretty much every other meat in the world probably needs some Old Bay on it, in my opinion. I could put Old Bay on most anything. If you don't have Old Bay, or you've never tried it, you gotta try it. It's just good stuff. So, covering my turkey breast with some Old Bay, and just get a little more there. That's good. Alright. Now I'm going to put on some of this hickory smoked sea salt and smoked salt. It really, it's not a replacement for smoking, or if you want to do liquid smoke or something like that. It's not a replacement for something like that. It just gives a very, very super faint hint of smoke. It's salt that's been smoked, but you're not going to use this to really bring out a whole lot of smoke flavor in any food. It's just a little something nice to add on, if you so choose. I'm going to throw on some of this black pepper. And there's no pepper like freshly cracked black pepper. The stuff you get out that pepper shaker or the already ground stuff is not as good as freshly cracked. You got to get a pepper cracker. Automated one makes it very easy. And, freshly cracked black pepper just adds a real nice flavor, unlike pre-ground pepper that, it seems like the taste kind of goes away from that pre-ground stuff while it's just kind of sitting in the container. So, you got things nice and covered. Now I'm going to try and get it onto the rotisserie inside of here. So I'm just cleaning off the rotisserie rod so it'll be easier to get in there without too many hassles. So I'm going to get it up and in. Lord willing, this goes without any issues. Let's see. Alright, we've got it in. So I'm going to close up. Alright, so you see the turkey breast in there, and I'm using the app to basically get the rotisserie started. And under my favorite recipes, and I go to my recipes, scroll down to my turkey breast. I've got one set for 325, 2 hours. It'll probably go much quicker than 2 hours, but that just gives me more than enough time. And so I do cook this dish. There's no preheat on the rotisserie setting, so I click Start Cooking. And then I have to click the Start button on the cooker, and basically it just starts. So there we have our turkey breast spinning on the rotisserie. It doesn't use the fan, and it looks like the turkey breast is getting beyond the pan just barely. It looks like, you know, as it's kind of coming around that larger part, it seems like it's kind of flopping a little, and it's kind of hitting that bottom a little bit. So we're kind of getting some, you know, resistance there on the bottom. So, and it looks like we're getting a little bit of smoke action from, I mean, it's canola oil, so it's got a high smoke point. But basically this turkey breast is kind of testing the limits of the amount of stuff you can put in this cooker, and we are getting a little bit of smoke action. I don't know if that's from my cleaning it or from the ingredients used in the cook, but we'll let this kind of go for a while. I'll bring you back later. Alright, so things have been spinning in there for an hour. It is still flopping a bit, but I'm letting it still keep going. The smoke, I think, may have just been because of the soap I was using when I cleaned the thing. I think that just needed to burn off. But the smoke stopped after a minute or two. No smoke alarm issues or anything with that, but as soon as it comes flopping around one more time, I'm going to try and poke my throwing pin in there real quick. I'm reading in the 120s, so that's after an hour. Gonna let it keep going, probably another 30 minutes. I'll come back and check it again, and so I'll bring you back later. Alright, so it's been spinning for now 90 minutes, another 30 minutes, and going to open up in here and do a quick check next time it flops around. Usually when it flops around, it gives me a good open shot at the breast meat. So just gonna let it come on around, and so here it comes. There it is. Oh wow, we're at 135. We're in the 140s in another part. It's taken a while, so it's a slow roll, kind of literally a slow roll. I'm going to let it keep on going here. I'll bring you on back maybe after it's gone in even 2 hours. I know I could bump up the temp, and I'm going to just go ahead and, let's see, I could bump up the temp, so I'm going to see if I can bump it up to 375. We'll let it roll with 375 because, you know, I guess we want to, you know, go ahead and get this taken care of in a reasonable amount of time, right? So I bumped it up to 375. We'll let it go for another 20 minutes, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, so after things are flopping around in there for about an hour, 50 minutes, something tragic happened. It fell off the rotisserie rod, and so I'm going to check the temp to see if we're done anyway. We're just in the upper 150s. We're still not done yet. You know, I didn't hit the convection button because that doesn't come on by default, but I'm going to kick on the convection and just going to bump it on up to 400. I'm going to move the time out to about 30 minutes, and I'm going to bump the temp up to 400. So we got convection going, we got the temperature bumped up to 400. As I said, the rotisserie rod is falling off. I could try and put it back on, and then it's going to be kind of flipping and flopping some more. I don't know. let's see if we can maybe with the tool maybe get it back in there. Alright, I think we got it back in there with the tool. So going to see how that goes, but going to let it keep going. Seems like it's, you know, this rotisserie takes longer than any other rotisserie that I've used, quite frankly, in my opinion. I mean, it is a whole turkey breast roast with the bone, but still all the same. Taking this long, you know, I guess because they don't use the convection fan by default, that's one drawback. Also, you know, it just seems like, you know, maybe it just takes a while with this cooker. But I'm going to let it keep going for a bit longer, and then I'll bring you on back. Alright, things have been going a little over an hour. I'm going to go check, and Lord willing, it will be done by now. So, it's kind of getting a little smoky. Let's see. 160. Wow. Still not done. It's in the 150s, still deep in that meat. Taking forever. Going to let it keep going. I'll bring you back. Alright, it's been almost 2 hours, 10 minutes. It's fallen off the rotisserie again. So I'm just trying to get in here to check temp and maybe get it back up on there again. But it's fallen off the thing. This rotisserie with with 2 prongs instead of 3 or 4 on the fork makes things a bit difficult. So I'll say this rotisserie is difficult, in my opinion, to deal with because there are not enough fork prongs going into the meat. That makes it difficult to manage the meat. I mean, my meat here is flopping in this case, but let's see. 4. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to be good enough. I'll give it another 5 minutes spinning, and then I'm just going to pull it. I think it will be, between it being 165 now plus carryover, 164 now plus carryover, you know, it'll go well over 165, but I'm just going to give it another 5 and then pull it out. So I'll bring you back then. Alright, things have been flopping around in there for 2 hours and 15 minutes now. I'm going to just stop it right there and go ahead and get the turkey out of here. This tool is working out pretty good as far as how far it goes as far as getting food out easy on the rotisserie. But I'm going to let it sit here, you know, have a little time to reabsorb juices, and then I'll bring you back for some cutting, plating, and taste testing. Alright, so got the rotisserie equipment off the bird, and just going to basically get some of the string action off of here, make it easier to cut through my bird for some cutting and plating. So didn't have like really anything flopping off the bird as far as like the skin and such. I don't even think it really needed to be trussed. It, you know, the skin on the bird basically held all the meat in, so did pretty well in that regards on its own. It's just the two-prong fork thing is just not a winner in general when it comes to rotisseries. But I think I've got the string off here fairly well now, so just wanted to make sure I didn't have any excess string there. And go ahead and cut right here. It's kind of tipping over, you know, it's a breast, so it's kind of tipping over on me. But here we have our turkey meat. Looks hot and juicy. And so just going to cut this piece off here for the sake of taste test. And so let's move the camera around and do a little taste testing. Just so you can see, that's how it looks where I cut. It looks pretty good. It kind of got some excess skin there. Got cut on the string, that's what happened to my skin. So we'll throw the skin on there. Seems kind of crisp. But let's do a taste test. Alright, so let's do a taste now. Here we go. I'm just going to try the skin, see if it's crispy and all, but I'm going to try it too. All the spices on the skin taste great. Inside the turkey, a little dry. A little dried out, probably from being in there all that time and all the work to get it done. I think it probably would help if on default their rotisserie had the air fryer fan going. I wanted to see how it worked with its default, just to see how things turn out with the default, you know, because that's how they have things set up by default. And I would hope that their default would be the best optimal settings, but I don't think they are. I think you should use the air fryer fan when you're using a rotisserie with this cooker. Things will probably turn out faster. And, you know, maybe it won't dry out, I don't know. But, you know, the 2-fork thing, no air fryer fan going by default, you know, there's a lot that could be reworked with how they do rotisserie in this cooker, in my opinion. But all the same, you do get your food done. And so, you know, you do have a meal, you know. And so all the same, you know, it is what it is there. And definitely looking forward to your comments on that. But I do want to say that in the video description, you can find a referral link for this cooker. You can find other ways to help this channel. There's always memberships. If you want to see advanced showings of these videos before other people get to see them, you also help this channel through that way. And also, you can find a link to the recipe here, and you can find more recipes on my blog at superwaveovenrecipes.com. And so with all that, I do want to say if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and good eating.